So I published 257 articles in the first 50 days of launching my second authority website. If you want to check out the journey for my first authority website, go to the first video on my channel, which discusses traffic, earnings, and how that site has been doing in its first 8 months. Now, this new website is only 2 months old, not even, and I've already published 257 articles. I'm in the online publishing business, putting up a lot of informational content, and we're going to see what happens with this journey. I'm really excited to see how it goes. So, jumping right into it, just kind of give a little bit of an introduction. My name's Charlie, and I publish large online authority websites in search of gaining a lot of online organic search traffic from Google. With that traffic, I'm able to monetize it with online ads as well as Amazon affiliates. So, the goal for this new website was to publish 1,000 informational articles this year. At my current publishing rate, I should be there by August 2021. I mentioned that in my previous video on this update, but right now we're over 250, so we're 25% of the way there. I'm going to monetize this website with ads and Amazon affiliates. So all this content is informational based, where it's solving questions on the internet that people are searching, and they are underserved topic, meaning there's no good article right now that satisfies that search query. So a lot of people may be clicking on Quora, Yahoo Answers, related message board to find something relevant to the topic they're searching. So my hope is that this article I'm publishing jumps into the Google search ranking positions, and this is the article that they're going to be clicking on. It's going to be winning the Google snippet, and it's going to bring in hopefully a lot of traffic. So the first article is published on December 5th. 95% of this content is outsourced. I am writing articles here and there when I have the time, but majority of my time is spent editing and publishing this content. The quicker the content's on my website, the faster it can rank. So I want to get it up immediately. And I always try and do high quality content that adds value to the user. And this is key. So I do a very intense test for my writers. My last video, I'll leave a link up top, is actually how I hire writers from Upwork, sending them templates, making sure the content's good. Sometimes when I get the content back, though, it's not always perfect, and there's still edits I have to make, even if it's not grammar related. Sometimes it's just formatting. And I do spend a significant amount of time editing articles to make sure they are perfect before I publish them. And I do work a full-time job, but this is something I am doing at the end of my workday or my hours on the weekend. It's something I'm passionate about, and I really want to get this up and running, and I'm excited to see what happens. So I have a lot of good numbers. This is kind of the update so far of what it looks like after 250 plus articles. So let's move right along. So word count up to 259,000 words. This is spread over the 257 articles, and I use the WP word count plugin, which shows the numbers that you see on the screen. I'm excited because I wanted to stay around that 1,000 word mark, and several of my articles were around the 900 word mark just because there wasn't a lot of research out there for my writers to do. And I did have several articles that wound up being over 1,000 words. So altogether, each article is just over 1,000, which I'm going to try and keep that always above 1,000 per article. These are well-researched articles, but they're also right to the point answers. I try to avoid any fluff in my articles. I want these to be great sources for what people are searching, but also material that they're actually going to care about and read. So sometimes giving too much information about a very simple question that someone's Googling, I don't think it's going to help them. I'm eventually going to add some bigger pieces of content as my site grows in authority, and I want to compete for higher level keywords. But for right now, the plan is to capture traffic that's really low competition, underserved topics with these response level posts of 1,000 words. The next chart, I really am excited about what this shows and what my kind of mission is with these articles. So this just breaks down the number of articles versus keyword difficulty. So using Ubersuggest monthly search volume, I sorted the current articles I have published as well as the other 43 articles that are currently being outsourced. So for the first 300 articles that will essentially be published on my website, this is the breakdown of the keyword difficulty. And initially, I really targeted keywords that were anywhere between the 0 to 100 search volume that had, the Yahoo Answers, Quora, message boards type of responses on the search engines. Figuring my article, once it's indexed and starts ranking, I will hopefully leap all those posts and be the best reliable answer for those search queries. So my first 40 articles or so were in that 0 to 100 range. And then you can kind of see how it's like kind of like grown from there. So a lot of focus is on the 0 to 100, 100 to 250. And then I found like a real sweet spot with this 250, 500 monthly search volume keyword level. A lot of my articles are there. Those articles are actually starting to rank anywhere in the top 20, top 30, which is pretty cool to see. So that's definitely a good spot for me. And we're going to see how this strategy goes. I mean, if you just kind of do the percentages quick, over 50% of my articles are under 500 search volume. And this doesn't really mean too much because, although search volume might only be 0, 100, 150, there's other long tail related keywords that people are going to be searching. Google always expresses the importance of people search different phrases. Just because there's a generic phrase or a common keyword doesn't mean that's always what people are searching. They might, type out their whole question that could be 10 words long that would never be a normal keyword that someone would target, and it kind of has to find the best source. So I think my articles are going to do a good job capturing a lot of that traffic. And doing an average of all 300 of these articles, the average monthly search volume is roughly 900, which actually does seem a little bit high. And I think that's just more of the skewness from the articles that are competing for keywords above the 2,500 level mark. So I'm not too worried about that number being high. But as you can see, there's only 7% of my articles are going after a keyword that's that competitive. Next, I have indexing articles on Google Search Console. So once I do hit publish, I want that article to start indexing right away. So I go into my Google Search Console screen and I index my blog post. And that blog post is crawled by Google and is added to a list in which Google says they will crawl the actual post. As you can see, and it starts from December 5th to now, my articles are indexing, but what I notice is I kind of submit them to Google Search Console, and there's like a day to a week lag of the content actually going in and being indexed. So I understand that, but I notice as these articles are starting to index, they are jumping to positions in the SERPs anywhere from, I've seen some jump as high as 8 or 9 as soon as they're indexed for a brand new website, which is incredible. But mostly in the range between like 30 to 50 is where I see them kind of jump in the SERPs. They might appear for a few days and then they jump out of it. So I'm going to continue to monitor that. New website, articles are going to take time to index, kind of gaining some authority and trust early on, but I'm going to keep providing high quality content for underserved topics. And then here is the SERP Robot Keyword Tracker. So this is a great tool that I've been using. I mentioned this before on one of my other videos, but I pay $5 a month to have a robot track roughly 300 keywords. So I put my first 250 article keywords in here and pretty much just one keyword for each article, the main keyword. And you can see I already have 36 articles indexed and ranking in the top 100, which is pretty great. And then another 18 in the top 30, which is going up quickly. I think the first time I did this video, it was in the single digits. And now articles are actually starting to creep into the top 10, which is getting exciting. 5 articles in the top 10 in the first 50 days is pretty awesome. And I think Google's liking the content I'm putting out and it's getting a favorable response. These numbers are only going to continue to climb. Not only is content indexed and ranks, but I'm going to be adding more keywords to this list as well. So I will make sure in all my update videos, I keep providing this tracker, as I think it's a good indicator of how the site's health is and how keywords are being picked up. And this was kind of a surprise to me. So the organic search traffic, it's kind of neat. So, crickets, not really much going on the first month or so. And I kind of expected this to happen for the first 3 or 4 months. I know content takes a while to rank and, your website's brand new. This is not an expired domain. But all of a sudden, I'm starting to get some search traffic organically. This chart is just organic search. This is not talking about direct or me potentially clicking on the website or one of my writers, but this is actually traffic coming in. And I'm already starting to get 3 straight days of over 10 organic users. And obviously that doesn't seem like much, and that's not going to move the needle for anything. But just for general health of the website, content's being indexed, content's being ranked, and now users are finding that content. And when I did a deeper dive on where this content's coming from, only 2 or 3 clicks right now are from Google, so very, very small. But a lot of that search traffic's coming from Bing and other search engines. And when I type in some of my articles on those search engines, I'm seeing they're already ranked anywhere in the top 5 for some really low competition phrases, which is awesome. So early on, if I get, even 10 visitors a day, we're talking about 300 visitors a month in the second month of my website, which is really, really good. My past website, this kind of was a month later than what I'm seeing right now. So I'm ahead of the curve. obviously a big contributor to that is just having so much content up and so many opportunities to rank for different keywords. Things are going to start sticking and hitting. It's kind of like you just have so much of it, it should eventually work. But besides that, this is a great sign. I'm really encouraged by this. I remember the first day I kind of saw that first surge in the 17 organic traffic user range for that one day. It was really motivating, and I actually put up a ton of content that day. I just wanted to get to work, wanted to keep going at it. It's nice to kind of see something positive come out of the efforts you put in for your business, right? It's a good sign. And then at this point, the question I get next a lot is, what's my backlink strategy? How am I going to be building links? How am I going to incorporate SEO? So the on-page SEO has been really strong. I've paid a lot of attention to that, communicated my format with writers, making sure I'm taking the time to edit and have the article work perfect for the keywords I'm targeting. But for backlink strategy, it is important to get links. They are votes for your website. It's someone else vouching that your content's good and it's a relevant site. So I am going to incorporate a very small backlink strategy, but it's not going to be anything where I'm dealing with private blog networks or kind of shady, weird links. I am going to be doing some outreach to some food blogs, and I have a couple of services that I use that will try and grab some decent links. And the goal is that I create good content that essentially I don't have to pay for backlinks. It's going to go out and get my own links. But early on, I'm going to create a little foundation for my link strategy. It's going to be almost like a marketing type of cost and say, okay, I'm going to go to these websites that are popular blogs in the space, maybe not as popular as the really large ones, but enough traffic, enough naturalness to their search organic users that it's going to be credible. It's going to provide authority to my site. It's going to send over some link juice. And I think it's going to get things going early on. I don't think it's going to completely allow me to skip the sandbox phase with Google. I think that content's going to still take time to rank, but having that authority early on, especially for keywords with little or no competition, will allow those articles to, I think, jump up quicker and can really expedite the process of publishing a lot of content. So at this point, I'm going to kind of go back to writing, editing, and publishing more content. I want to try and get up a few more articles today, continue to work with my writers, sending out the next batch of orders. When I have time, I do publish a 1,000-word article on my own. I write it up quick. I kind of lay out the title, the question I'm trying to go after, the immediate answer, relevant subheadings, and then I get cracking. I usually can write an article in about an hour and 15 minutes. I'm starting to get better and better at it. And I think to myself, every article I get up is just another step closer to 1,000 articles. And I'm really excited to see what happens with this site once we hit 1,000 articles. So 25 or more than 25% of the way to 1,000 articles. The journey is getting really exciting. If you want to keep following this journey along, make sure you leave a like. So I know you guys like these type of videos. And thanks for joining me on this journey. Really appreciate it.